I think it's time to go ahead and turn this motherfucker up, man. Let's go, man. How y'all doing tonight, man? It's News with Nneka, and I know you're going to enjoy this shit, man. We are now listening to the Year Podcast, man. And today I'm on a solo mission to give you some news that you can use while you're in traffic, man. This is your traffic update. And to be honest, put your middle fingers up in there and say, fuck you, bitch. Because I'm sure somebody cut you off a couple of miles back, but I'll curse them out for you. Anyway, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Peace be with you. Shout out to everybody. Aren't you happy, man? We done made it through another day, man. You are blessed and highly favored. I just wanted to say that because a lot of people don't get to pray and thank God. You know what I'm talking about? Woo! All right. Now let's get to the serious issue, man. Today we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only. And we're here to talk about the two astronauts that are stuck in space. America, you have let us down. I can't believe that you would do something so horrendous and horrendous as this shit that you've done. You know, and if you don't know, there are two astronauts stuck in space right now. And they've been out there for a while. And as I'm talking to you guys about this, I'm going to be pulling up facts so that way I can give you all the fun facts about this stuff. And it's not fun. It's a very serious matter. And to be totally honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the two astronauts were severely hurt already. Because, I mean, this is just a very serious situation. So, let's talk about it. The spacecraft issues are a risk of space travel. For example, NASA astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams were stranded in space due to technical issues with their Boeing Starliner. Boeing. I'm so tired of the Boeing planes. Boeing, I don't know if y'all just hiring anybody to do whatever or build these, things that you guys are building. But it's clear that Boeing is not a trustworthy, producer of aircrafts. We've been having a lot of in-air problems with Boeing, and I think somebody need to put them under investigation. And if you didn't know, no one makes any new planes. All they do is refurbish them. It hasn't been a new plane being made in years. So, blame your government for that. But moving right along. The Starliner was on a test flight when it experienced problems, and NASA and Boeing decided to return the ship without the astronauts. Hey, you guys, something's wrong with the aircraft. We're not quite sure if we can get you back down to Earth safe because we're going to just crash into the motherfucking water. So, hey, you guys are going to be stuck in space. How about that? Spacecraft damage. Spacecraft damage can be damaged by space junk or micrometeorites. For example, Frank Rubio spacecraft was damaged by a micrometeor, forcing him to ride on in a different craft to return back to Earth. Some fun facts is that Rubio and another person named Valerie, they spent over 437 consecutive days in space before. Now, the problem with being stranded in space is that not only are you stranded, but your body starts to change. Your muscles start to weaken, your bone mass starts to decrease, and your mental health starts to take a toll. And I'm just starting to wonder, the two people that they picked were very mid-age, it's crazy. NASA and Boeing have avoided the term stuck and stranded, but either way, two astronauts are still stuck in space longer than they plan to be. Sonny Williams, which is the woman who's stuck in space, and Barry Butch Wilmore, which is the mission's commander, they left for the International Space Station in the Starliner on June 5th. They've been out there since June. The mission, whose goal is to make sure that the people can safely fly to the ISS and Starliner, was intended to last a week. But now they are expected to return home next year in February of 2025. Williams and Wilmore are the first two astronauts sent in space by Boeing. Good job, Boeing. Which has a $4.2 billion contract with NASA as a part of a move to privatize space flight in USA. Blowing, you can't even fly somebody from Atlanta to Florida without the plane fucking experience some type of problem. How the hell you thought you were going to go to space? And at the end of the day, who's in charge of making these type of decisions? You know, like, is it really possible for private airlines to do this? So that lets me know that there's got to be other airlines working on this, which kudos to them. But the process leading up to the Boeing voyage met repeated technical issues, and they still chose to fly it out there. While it does seem like the purpose of the test run is to find those issues, one would hope they could also be resolved. When you're testing something like flying out of town, or flying out of the atmosphere, flying out of the planet, you might want to put two monkeys in that motherfucker. Two human beings is crazy. You know, it's the latest blow to the reputation of Boeing, long considered the gold standard in American manufacturing. Yeah, fucking right. Following the two deadly 737 MAX 8 airplane crashes and several recent safety incidents, the crashes which took place in 2018 and 2019 that killed over 346 people. Boeing needs to be sued. They need to be stopped. You know, it's people flying in and out of space all the time, apparently, and they decided that they're going to let them sit out there and suffer. Williams and Whitmore are expected to return to Earth next year. For example, in July, its Falcon 9 rocket failed to launch. The rocket is used to carry satellites. So now all of a sudden, it's just not working. The government had concerns about the Starliner in 2020, and Boeing just determined to get the contract. You know, let's see some facts. And I saw something. I want to double check it. As of 2024, now I want y'all to listen carefully. As of 2024, NASA astronaut Sunita Williams and her fellow astronaut Butch Moore will be faced with a potential 96-hour limit of oxygen on the International Space Station due to issues. Faced with a potential 96-hour oxygen limit, NASA was faced with the difficult decision of whether to attempt to return the astronauts using the Starliner or to launch a SpaceX rescue mission. So they didn't want to call Elon. NASA assured that the ISS had enough food and oxygen to support the crew, and there was no immediate danger of running out. 96 hours of oxygen. I'm confused. It's 24 hours in a day, but it's 96 hours oxygen limit. Now, other sources are saying that Will and Sunita Williams will soon run out of food. And apparently, they're trying to say that they do have enough oxygen. But NASA has assured that both food and oxygen supplies on the ISS will remain well within safe limits. And they're in no immediate danger. Do y'all believe that? What y'all think? And if I had a cell phone, can anybody like tell us if they're tweeting or sending any messages? Like, I bet you they're under a nasty non-disclosure. Nasty non-disclosure. So, prayers, and more prayers to the two astronauts stuck in space. You know, I think this is a good, it's a good time to pray. If you had nothing else to pray for those two astronauts stuck in space. Now, North Carolina. North Carolina is considered a spiritual vortex, which has high light and crystalline energy, by way of the Blue Ridge Mountains, which are known for their large deposits of quartz. If you don't know, North Carolina was fucking destroyed. Prayers to North Carolina. I'm talking about bridges are down, people have died, and the whole state is pretty much swamped. And I don't think it's getting enough publicity or getting enough talk about it. I mean, I don't know. To me, I feel like maybe the whole state, probably half of the people in the state are literally underwater. And so what happened was 2 low pressure storms basically combined and created this super torrential rain. It's actually being compared to something out the Bible. It was biblical devastation to the western North Carolina in a near worst case scenario. Hurricane Helene has proved to be the most disastrous for the Appalachia, as massive amounts of precipitation from the storm caused rampant flooding and devastated several towns and killed dozens, if not hundreds of people on this past Monday. The North Carolina State Climate Office provided a picture of the monster storm that was nearly the worst case scenario for North Carolina. Torrential rainfall from the remnants of Hurricane Helene capped off 3 days of extreme, unrelenting precipitation, which left catastrophic flooding and unimaginable damage in our mountain and southern foothills. And this is from what they posted. Shout out to CBS News for that. A lot of big words to describe some bullshit. I really hope anybody who has family in Georgia, North Carolina, any of the affected states, once again, prayers go out to you guys. Prayers go out to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a very serious and crazy matter. Right now, you stuck in traffic. You're looking around. You're like, why me? It's a good time to exit and get some Starbucks. If you haven't tried Starbucks Ribbon Caramel Crunch, and I'm not being paid to say this, but that is so good for morale. It's a morale booster. I'm talking about after you drink that, you can do anything. Try it. But this concludes my short news you can use. And again, shout out to everybody sitting in traffic. Shout out to everyone who's listening to this. You might be at home listening to this, scratching your ass on the sofa. I'm just glad you're listening. It's DJ Nneka with some news you can use. And we out. Yes, sir. And don't forget, make sure you subscribe to the Your Podcast, man. We do have new episodes coming out. Oh, my God. Thank you for listening. You're beautiful. Shout out to my Aunt Jan, because she always listens and supports. Jan, if you out there right now, I love you, Jan. You keep me going. Once again, DJ Nneka, checking out news you can use. Later, alligator.